Why, hello everybody, welcome to another review as read. So today we're going to talk about the Gully Dwarves. That's right, it's a Dragonlance novel, and The Lost Histories Volume 5 by Dan Parkinson. And again, I'll come out right out and say, great book. And okay, so we're going to go through and basically talk about the good, the bad, and then the conclusion. Now, first things I have to say is The Lost Histories is a very good series because if you like to know about a race in the Dragonlance world that gives a good example of what the characteristics are in general, this is a great series. Alright, so and for the Gully Dwarves one, I feel they did it right because they did not make a creation story like how the Aghar was made by Rare Rocks and all of that. You know, that kind of stuff is good, but it tends to take a lot more explaining, and rather these books are more about the characteristics, like how this one does it is by focusing on the clan of Blood. Alright, and how they do normal things in everyday life, like marriage, which is very weird. Like for them, marriage just happens in a way, and I won't give any spoilers. And how they just run their normal lives, and also they give a lot of views on how people view Gully Dwarves, like from the highest of creatures to dragons to humans who they call Talls, and the dwarves who they call Swatters. You know, there's a lot of views that are given from both. They give you an inward and outward look at their race. Alright, so that's fantastic, and I must give this the best reason you should read this is because it's unique. This is the most unique fantasy novel you're probably going to read. One of the, okay, that's a strong word. Good word to use is one of the most unique fantasy novels you read, because most fantasy novels regard for a character that is better than the average man. You know, a hero, a great hero, or a great band of heroes, great legends who will forever be written about. Gully Dwarves, the Gully Dwarves story does have a hero, but it's a Gully Dwarf. And here's the thing: he does heroic things, but he doesn't know he's doing it, and no one ever will ever remember it in the history of Kyrnn. You know, it's a very poignant story, and the ending, in fact, is extremely poignant too. I will not spoil it, but the ending definitely makes the book end perfectly. And you notice I'm using a lot of words like perfect and all that, and I can't say that the book is perfect, as I will come back to the bads later. But like, you see how much I like the book because it really brings out the characteristics of the Gully Dwarves out, and because this is not a race like elves or dwarves, which people have a lot of connection to, it actually makes it better because the author can give the goods and the bads without being afraid of alienating an audience. So again, I won't spoil it, but yeah, he does it. He paces it very well. He gives you a good, like, one thing that comes out very very fast in the early part of the novel is that they're innocent, but yet sometimes they try to help, but they kind of tend to cause more problems than they do. You know, something as simple as that, but it comes out very well in the story. Now, the bad of the novel is because they included and this comes out early afterwards, after a few chapters, so it's not a spoiler, but basically they have a wish making item. Alright, that's what I'm gonna say. Alright, and whenever you have a wish making mechanic, there's always plot holes. Why is it this happened or that happened when this could have happened? The wish asked for this, you know what I mean? So that's the bad part. That's pretty. It's not actually, strangely, it just makes plot holes, but yet it doesn't really affect the story because if you're reading this, you're reading this for the characteristics of the Gully Dwarves, and that's what's most important, and it doesn't really affect that largely at all. Alright, so the bad part is that, and well, to think basically, strangely, the most so-called boring part, it's not actually a very thick book, so actually whenever they don't concentrate the Gully Dwarves, actually that's when a bit of it starts to drag a bit. But other than that, I can't really say anything really bad about the book. I really really enjoyed the book. Like I said, this concentrating on the little guy, which I love to play underpowered characters in RPGs and everything. So I actually love this book. It's a fantastic read. I've finished it over twice again, and I'll definitely read it in times to come. in conclusion, it's a good read. You want a unique fantasy novel on unlikely heroes who will never be remembered. The normal man, basically, or rather something less than even the normal man. Read Gully Dwarves because it's a great book, and probably the good thing, it's not going to be expensive to find and buy. You know, absolutely good read. Give it a thumbs up. In fact, 2 thumbs up. So, thank you. Until next word.